Hello everyone and welcome to Economic Outlook with me, Luisa Kusnandar. Here we bring you the latest information in economy as well as a stock update from the global and local market. And today we will also talk about the rise in rice prices and its implication on inflation later on via Zoom with Eko Listianto, the Deputy Director of the Institute for Development of Economic and Finance, or INDEF. So let's start. This is Economic Outlook. Jakarta-Bandung high-speed train has helped attract tourists from Southeast Asian countries to visit the country's two main cities. The increase in rice prices in recent weeks raised concerns that it will cause an increase in inflation. Stock prices on Wall Street rose on Friday and slowing inflation and positive sentiments on technology companies. The Jakarta-Bandung high-speed train has helped attract tourists from Southeast Asian countries to visit the country's two main cities. Senior official of the Indonesian Travel Agent Association, or ASTINDO, has said. Speaking at the opening of a travel fair in Jakarta on Friday, ASTINDO chairperson Pauline Suharno said that Wush train can help promote tourism in Jakarta and in Bandung, especially to tourists in ASEAN because it is the first high-speed train in the region. She said that ASTINDO has received many requests from students and business people in neighboring ASEAN countries to try and ride on the high-speed train. Stretching from Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, to the country's fourth largest city of Bandung, the railway, with a length of 142.3 kilometers, began its commercial operation in October last year as the first high-speed rail service in Southeast Asia. It is designed to run at the speed of 350 kilometers per hour, cutting travel time between the two cities to around 45 minutes from over 3 hours. The number of electric motorcycles increased more than 260% in 2023 as more people took the advantage of the government's fiscal incentives in buying the two-wheeled electric vehicles. Hendro Martono, Director of Maritime Industry, Transportation Equipment and Defense Equipment, said in Jakarta on Friday that the number of two-wheeled electric vehicles increased by 260% to 62,000 in 2023 from 70,000 in 2022, following the launch of the government subsidy program for the purchases of electric motorcycles in June of the year. The government subsidy program for purchasing two-wheeled electric vehicles significantly contributed to the increase. Under the program, the government is offering a tax subsidy of 7 million rupiah for a two-wheeled electric vehicle purchase. Meanwhile, the number of four-wheeled electric vehicles increased by about 40% to 12,000 in 2023 from 8,000 in 2022. Martono said that the government planned to offer 0% import duty and sales tax for the purchases of electric cars because the existing incentive was still unable to boost electric car sales significantly. Indonesian tech firm GoTo will in a month and a half be 100% compliant with the country's trade ministry regulation that bans in-app transactions on social media. Short video app TikTok, owned by Chinese company ByteDance, acquired in December majority shares in GoTo's e-commerce unit Tokopedia. After the government banned transactions on its TikTok shop e-commerce unit, it did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Integration process is going well. All parties continue to communicate with the related ministries. As far as we know, the process is also nearing completion. CEO Patrick Waluyo has said in an online briefing as reported by Reuters. Following December's deal, TikTok has reopened its e-commerce services, which are provided by Tokopedia. And last week, Indonesian Minister for Small and Medium Enterprises, Teten Mas Duki, said TikTok has yet to comply with the regulation. President Joko Widodo called on ministries and institutions to exercise caution while setting an economic growth target and rising global economic risk, such as economic recession.
Bulan April, kita akan merayakan Idul Fitri.
Speaking during a plenary cabinet meeting on Ramadan and Idul Fitri preparations, government work programs, macroeconomic framework, and the 2025 fiscal policy at the State Palace on Monday, President Joko Widodo warned ministries and local government to make realistic economic target. The President pointed out the economic recession, which had begun to hit several major countries, such as the United Kingdom and Japan, could have a negative implication on Indonesia. With such growing uncertainties worldwide, the President urged the central and regional governments to step up the budget and prepare a contingency plan against economic turmoil and recession. Indonesia's annual economic growth fell slightly but remained solid at 5.05% last year as falling commodity prices hit exports and tight monetary policy dampened demand. However, the economic slowdown in the country's major trading partners could further slow the economic growth. The Japanese economy shrank at annual rate of 0.4% during the October to December period due to weak spending power, while the UK's economy contracted by 0.3% in the fourth quarter of 2023.
The increase in rice prices in recent weeks have raised concerns that it will cause an increase in inflation that could lead to a decline in people's purchasing power.
The increase in rice prices during the last 2 weeks has set a new record, reaching 18,000 rupiah or $1.2 per kilogram for rice with premium quality. The price has exceeded the government's retail price ceiling of 14,800 rupiah per kilogram. Apart from being expensive, there is also a shortage of premium rice supply in modern retail stores. The price of rice with medium quality has also increased. The price of the rice with medium quality at the Cipinang Wholesale Rice Market in East Jakarta reached 14,700 rupiah per kilogram in mid-February, an increase of 2,700 rupiah compared to the same period last year. Trade Minister Zulkifli Hasan said the increase in rice prices was due to the delay in the harvest season this year. Apart from that, observers said the increase was due to the massive distribution of social assistance in the form of rice ahead of the presidential and legislative elections in February 14th. The Trade Minister said that this year the government would import 3.6 million tons of rice to meet the expected supply shortage due to the decline in domestic production. Of this amount, 500,000 tons of imported rice were already on their way and would soon enter Indonesia, the minister said. Apart from that, the government itself still has rice reserves of 1.4 million tons to meet the demand. Meanwhile, the State Logistics Agency of Bulog, together with local governments, have carried out market operations in large cities to distribute cheaper rice to the public. However, the market operations are still unable to reduce prices in traditional and modern markets. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani warned the increase in prices of rice and other food commodities such as chilies, eggs and chicken will trigger an increase in inflation this year. In general, an increase in the inflation will reduce the people's spending, especially on durable goods, as well as on secondary and tertiary needs. Therefore, the government needs to ensure that people's real income does not decrease significantly. Meanwhile, Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia, Aida S. Budiman, said the increase in rice prices in January 2024 would push up monthly inflation by 0.64%.
Let's go to our dialogue now. The increase in rice prices during the last 2 weeks has reached the highest in history due to delay in harvest season. The rice price increase has led to an increase in inflation in February and also pushes up prices of other food commodities. Now, our guest this afternoon, Eko Listianto, Deputy Director of the Institute for Development of Economics and Finance, INDEF, is already connected with us via Zoom. And Pak Eko will talk about the unusually high rice price and its impact on inflation. Hello, Pak Eko.
Halo Mbak Luisa.
Hello, Pak Eko. Thank you for being here with us for Economic Outlooks. Pak Eko, according to the Statistics Indonesia or BPS, the increase in the price of rice in February 2024 have reached an average of 19%, and it is the highest in history. Do you have an idea? Can you please explain to us why is this price increase so high, given the fact that Indonesia has imported millions of tons of rice to cope with the decline in our domestic production?
Okay, Mbak Luisa, ya. I think even we has imported million of ton of rice, I think there is two things, that cause the increase of the rice today. First is from production, I think. From production side, we know that we face El Nino, and this is make the decrease of the production of rice, not just for Indonesia, but also in the other countries also face the same problem. And the second thing is from the demand side, that it is about social assistance, and the actual rate of social assistance, and also the election itself, I think also create more demand, for the citizen, and this is make higher, in our rice price, So I think that there are two things, from production and also from consumer also, or demand is also push the price of this rice.
Now, Pak Eko, let's talk about inflation now. According to the BPS report, the increase in rice prices have caused the inflation rate to rise to 2.75% in February, from 2.57% in January. Do you think that this increase in inflation rate is unusually high? And what is the impact on our economy? Halo, Pak Eko?
Hello. Okay, there is a little bit delay, I think, but I can get your point, I think, The first is, of course, this is unusually cycle, I can say that from the historical data, we know that every February, actually, in Indonesia, the inflation is always low, and the price of rice is also stable, in the stable situation. But I think this time is different, especially for this years, because in February, Indonesia also has election, and also before February, we also face the El Nino as the part of the causes of the rice price, increasing of rice price. I think this is unusually, and also if we look the impact, yeah, of this increasing of the rice price and also for the inflation, yeah, I think most of the impact is come from purchasing power from the citizen. I think this is the big effect from the citizen, especially for the poor people and also for the middle income people. But I think for the middle income, they have saving. Yeah, they have saving for their expense. Yeah, I think this is still they can absorb this increase. Yeah, but for the poor people, I think this is the big push. Yeah, for their purchasing power.
All right. Well, we did have the election and also the El Nino phenomenon. And of course, we have coming up the Ramadan month. Now, the increase in rice prices has also caused an increase in prices of other food commodities. Do you think such a condition will further trigger inflationary pressure in March and also the following months, Pak Eko?
Yeah, I think, yeah, yes, we will face more pressure in inflation. Yeah, yeah, because in this month, yeah, I think we face the fasting months. So in Indonesia, there is a fact that if fasting month, the consumption is higher. So I think also will increase the food, yeah, food price, yeah, not just rice price, but also the other commodities like chili, maybe juga eggs, and also uh, beef, yeah, and some other commodities. So I think we still will face more higher inflation, I think, in this month. And also in April, we also face Eid holiday. In next month, we face Eid holiday, and this is also will increase the price of food commodities. Yeah, and I think the peak of the inflation will in April, I think.
Of course, and as we know that inflation is also a factor that can reduce people's purchasing power, what should then the government do to help our community, especially those with fixed incomes, to meet their daily needs then? Any suggestion, Pak Eko?
Yeah, I think for the poor people, of course, the social assistance is help for them, yeah, for maintain their purchasing power parity. But for the some area, especially for the middle class, for the people that have fixed income, I think the policy, in innovation, I think we will need policy like. We need to decrease maybe value attack, yeah, for the specific sector. I think we can do this policy because today not just poor people that face the increasing of the price, but also the middle class. Yeah. So I think if we want to push the our economy and also make a stable of the purchasing power of the citizen, we need to give more social assistance, especially for the poor people, and for the middle class, we need to give some incentive for them. Yeah.
Now, with so many occurrences happening in Indonesia this year, Bank Indonesia is targeting a yearly inflation of between 2% and 4%. Do you think that this number can still be achieved? What's your forecast on this?
Yeah, I think it's depend on how Indonesia can manage the food price, especially rice price in this year. If the peak of the inflation is in April, so after that we can maintain and stabilize our price. I optimist that we can achieve our target, especially for the Bank Indonesia target, at least maybe 3%, yeah, or 3.5%. We can achieve that, but if the the problem of the rice price didn't have solved, or we still face increasing of rice price maybe for the some of next months. I think the target need to be revised because the most of the house inflation in Indonesia actually come from volatile food, especially from rice price, I think.
Now, Pak Eko, if we can talk a little bit more from the production side, the decline in rice production is not only caused by unfavorable weather, but also because many farmers have been reported to have switched to other crops, and rice farming is now considered to be no longer as profitable as before. What do you think the government should do to overcome this problem then?
Yeah, I think of course, because the land is very important for the farmer. I think we need to make sure that there is no decreasing about the land, yeah, for the farmer. And the second is about using technology. I think this is also important things because if we look the other country, they can maintain and increase their production because of they use some new technology for the farmer. So I think we need to adopt this strategy, especially for the Indonesian farmer. We need to push new technology for them, and also, yeah, we need to maintain a good price for the farmer, especially for their commodities product. Yeah.
Michael, last question here. We know that our government has introduced a number of food programs, such as the food estate. In your opinion, has this program been effective so far? And what do you think the government can do to fix this?
Yeah, I think about food estate. Yeah, this is yeah, we can call it so far there is no proof that the food estate will become our strategy to maintain our rice production, because there is no improvement in production with this food estate. And in the other area also we face environmental issue using this policy. So I think for the future, we need to shift this strategy. I think it's better to push the diversification of food itself. Actually, we have so many regions in Indonesia with this specialized food commodities. So I think we need to push this strategy to make sure that we not just use rice as our main food, but also the other commodities. And the other thing is about we need to more technology for the farmer. Yeah? I think if these two things we do not need to at food estate, or maybe using this as the main policy to maintain our rice production. So I think we need to think the other things like diversification food, and also implementation of new technology in our agriculture.
A very nice summary right there. Pak Eko Listianto, Deputy Director of INDEF. Thank you so much for your time here at Economic Outlook. Thank you. Let's move on now to our next news, where the Indonesian Foreign Affairs Ministry recently held a Startup Talks event to facilitate domestic startup companies to reach European markets in the hopes of raising the country's exports.
An event titled Startup Talks, Igniting Indonesia-Europe Collaborative Opportunities was held at the Shangri-La Hotel, Jakarta on Tuesday to provide a platform for Indonesian startups to share experiences with various strategic entities, especially from the European region. As many as business people from the country's startup circle, representatives of venture capital from Europe, embassies of European countries, state-owned companies, and a number of multinational companies took part in the event. Appearing as speakers include Italo Gani, co-founder and managing partner of Impacto, Hasbi Ashadik, founder and CEO of Assembler, Mr. Andri Mahendra, founder and director of Nisklab, Reza Pirnazar, co-president of La French Tech Indonesia, and Gabby Van Herpt, Dutch regional startup liaison from the Dutch Embassy in Singapore. On this occasion, several Indonesian startups engage in smart technology, including Imagine, Preets, Atoma, and Ravelware Technology, also showcased their pioneering products to participants. Various important recommendations that emerged in discussions regarding the startup ecosystem include suggestions that startups, actors, and partners involved can collaborate to form an inclusive startup ecosystem.
Let's go to market shares now. Stock prices on Wall Street rose on Friday amid slowing inflation and positive sentiments on technology companies. Nasdaq Composite advanced 1.14% to close at 16,274, while the S&P 500 added 0.8% to 5,137. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 0.23% to 39,087. The tech-heavy Nasdaq has recovered from a difficult year in 2022 amid slowing inflation in the United States and Federal Reserve's pivot toward rate cut in 2024. While the market is waiting for a Fed rate cut this year, the United States has seen a growing national debt at about $1 trillion nearly every 100 days. The nation's debt permanently crossed over to $34 trillion on January, according to the data from the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Meanwhile, Moody's Investors Service lowered its ratings outlook on the U.S. government to negative from stable in November due to the rising risks of the country's fiscal strength. Stock prices dropped on the Indonesian stock exchange IDX on Friday amid rising inflation in the country and market sentiment on the global economy. The Jakarta Composite Index ended the Friday session with a decrease of 0.06% to close at 7,311. On a weekly basis, the JCI rose by 0.23%. Meanwhile, foreign investors recorded net selling of 3.69 trillion rupiah throughout the week, or equivalent of $235 million. Indonesia's February inflation rate surged to 2.75%, compared with 2.57% in January. Meanwhile, investors are monitoring economic recession in several countries and the Fed's cautious move in its rate cut plan. The Indonesian rupiah strengthened against US dollars amid declining dollar index, while the market remained cautious with the Fed's plan to release economic data. The rupiah strengthened to 15,704 per US dollars on Friday. However, the rupiah could be under pressure next week as investors are anticipating a better US employment data, which may strengthen the greenback against Asian currencies. And that ends our edition of Economic Outlook this week. I am Luisa Kusnandar. Thank you for watching Economic Outlook and have a pleasant week ahead.